Saint Germain, say no. I will not conform. I am Saint Germain, and I come to be with you at this moment. In these times, these crucial times that you are about to face, these times that were predicted, when I, as Saint Germain, presented myself in that time, when those various members began to form this country and gathered around the Declaration of Independence, but were afraid to sign it. Think about it now. Go back with me and see those various members, those various founding fathers, all gathered around this document, fearful of stepping forward and signing. Then a solitary figure, at the back of the room, stood up, and I began to speak and to share what the vision for this country would be. But know that it is not just about this country, the United States of America, but it is the entire world that must become free. It is a vision that I had, a vision that the founding fathers of this country had, a vision that what you call the White Hat Alliance has, a vision that many of the leaders of this world have. Yes, it is true that some of these leaders do not have this vision. Some of these leaders only have the vision of control and power, but there are also those who are stepping forward, just as all of you are stepping forward, each in your own way. Yes, perhaps you do not go in front of the television screen. Perhaps you do not appear on what are called podcasts. Perhaps you do not express your opinions out loud, but you are here and you are sharing your thoughts. And as you have heard many times, these thoughts have power, and these thoughts enter the quantum field, into the collective consciousness of humanity, and are received by all who are ready to receive them. To receive that higher understanding, to receive that beginning of awakening, is what you are all here to do. To carry forward this awakening process in whatever way you can, simply by being who you are already doing it. It is not necessary for you to step forward and become a voice crying out in the wilderness, but you are a voice crying out to the collective consciousness. Think about it. Think about who you truly are and the power that resides within each of you. To be guides, to be those who dismantle the system simply by saying, "No, I will not conform. You are destroying the system. You must understand this." If those around you wish to control you, and some of these control attempts will materialize, I cannot say how or when, but there will be another attempt to gain control over the population. But you, those of you, will say, "No, I will not conform." And because you make your voice heard, you will influence those around you, and they too will make their voice heard, and this is already happening. For those who believe they are still in charge, they no longer are, because those who have the power and know the power within themselves to bring freedom to the world are truly the ones who now have control. Power to the people, not to the corporations, not to those who would usurp that power to control others. This is over. And the more you see it, yourselves in your own lives, and you move away from the three-dimensional matrix and truly become Neos and Morpheus, and those others who starred in that film, that is who you are, the awakened ones. So be those awakened ones now, and carry forth your Father's mission. I am Saint Germain, and now I leave you in peace, love, and unity, so that you may continue to see what I saw, and what those founding fathers saw about 200 years ago. A monumental shift. Last week we shifted again, a significant shift that was very exciting. This has firmly and steadily established New Earth in the midst of the old and made it our home. We had been going back and forth, dipping back into the old, but now we are in the new. There were some symptoms accompanying this: blurred vision, headaches, nausea, dizziness, and sleep issues, to name a few, and some noticed feeling very tired last weekend. Just before this happened, on Thursday morning, I had an intuition of this shift, which filled me with immense excitement and dizziness. This intense excitement has recurred several times since this great change occurred, and this is why we are preparing with our nervous system. The energy of New Earth is high frequency and feels very intense until we acclimate. This process can take a day or two, or even longer. As we acclimate, this energy becomes our new energy system, and it is a welcome change to feel this fresh, vibrant energy permeating us. Our relationship with nature deepens. Happiness arises spontaneously, for no apparent reason, and we feel gratitude. The unbridled joy and enthusiasm for this new experience are incredible and make us realize how limited we were in the old world. We realize how everything was turned upside down. We discover that our relationship with everything is changing because we feel that everything is alive. Our connection with nature deepens. Happiness wells up from within. 4. No apparent reason, and we feel gratitude. We feel a sense of connection. We are part of everything. And we see things align and come together in the most beautiful way, as if the cosmos is creating a divine tapestry with us. This is how it should be. Each of us is going through a reboot period where our orientation shifts from the old to the new. In the past, most of us had a negative orientation due to the way the three-dimensional dimension was structured. This is changing, allowing us to begin to see things positively and constructively, and this will be a relief. There is an affirmation that can help in this process. I now realign my system to be in the new experience. Creations for the tapestry of life. A transition at your own pace, dearest ones. Perhaps you feel the need to change more quickly, or as quickly as others. This transition is neither a race nor a competition between who is better and who is not. You will embark on your new path when it is right for your spiritual, physical, and emotional bodies, just as it happened during puberty. Some of you are already illuminating your own world and that around you, while others lament that they haven't started yet or aren't at the same level. It is impossible for you to undergo a transition and then not undergo a drastic change. Just as it happened during puberty, for you too this change will occur at the right time. One sign that this is true is your interest in this transition, demonstrated by the need to read or listen to material related to it. This transition is not a race and has nothing to do with being better than others or with the idea, I will never change. Each of you is a unique individual, and so will your transition to a new identity be. There is no need for the tears of anguish and fear that many of you displayed during puberty, before your voice changed or breasts developed. Your transition will happen when the time is right for you, not for your sister or friend. The transition phase, which will manifest especially in the coming days, will consist of you no longer being willing to interact with those who transmit fear, or to allow that fear to influence daily life to the point where you cannot see the peace and joy surrounding you. Of course, there will be those who dismiss this last consideration because they fear losing some of their former needs in the 3D world, such as financial resources, the risk of being victims of abuse, the cruelty of others, or thousands of other fears common in 3D, but not in this new world. The obvious question that arises is, if the transition doesn't happen as quickly as others, am I trapped, or must I be, in the fear of the 3D dimension? During puberty, did you ever have to repeat a school year because your voice hadn't changed yet? Well, now it's the same thing. Even if you remain more immersed in the 3D world than you would like, due to news and other techniques that try to pull you back into the fear of the 3D dimension, this situation is short-lived, just like when you are promoted in school despite the desired physical characteristics not having developed yet. This anguish over not yet having experienced what you hope to experience by this time, especially considering that others flaunt their new abilities and experiences, is short-lived. Once you have embarked on this transition, as all of you reading this text have, it is only a matter of time before your new qualities manifest. But unlike puberty, each of you will show different characteristics, so part of your jealousy or fear of not transitioning as quickly as others may be unfounded, because your interests do not require the same aspects as others. How can this transition focus on uniqueness and at the same time expect everyone's voice or breasts to be altered? Perhaps you are further along in your transition than you think. Allow yourself to be yourself without envying what others do or are interested in. At the same time, expect changes in your actions, thoughts, or words. Uniqueness remains a key element of your transition. So your change might be as simple as deciding to cultivate a garden instead of pursuing the ultimate goal, in the minds of some entities, of dimensional travel. Respect yourself and your transition pace. Perhaps you have already completed the transition without particular signs, as your interactions and thoughts have aligned with the person you wanted to become. Others, however, were so off track that they noticed obvious changes rather than a general serenity. You are all evolving along the lines you embarked upon before this moment, or through great strides of novelty that will surprise you and those around you. Allow yourself to be. Rest when you wish. Act when you want and know without a shadow of a doubt that you are in the right place at the right time. And so it is. Amen. This is the truth of what the awakening represents. The old earth functioned on fear and sowing fear, on divisions, to keep everyone under control and easily manipulated. When you finally understand the rules of the game, you simply no longer play it. This is the truth of what awakening means. To finally realize and reclaim your sovereignty and, even more, to choose to live life from an inner state of love, peace, and balance, even when everything seems chaotic and turbulent. This does not mean a withdrawal from life, but the full realization of soul mastery. You see the game clearly, you know how it unfolds, and you choose not to participate in it anymore because you are no longer interested. For me, this is where the greatest shift in ascension occurs, propelling us through the immense portals of ascension towards the full claim of our sovereignty, where we have faced the darkest hours of old humanity, even within ourselves, and have chosen to return to purity, integrity, truth, light, love, wisdom, and the true empowerment of the soul. Taking full responsibility for everything we think, say, and do, for everything we create. We are witnessing the deepest darkness to be an act of balancing light, love, and truth, but even more, the tipping point, because where a pure, blinding white light penetrates, darkness clears away. Let us therefore ascend into a blinding light, filled with unconditional love, compassion, wisdom, intuition, and vision, to transmute and transfigure fears and old modus operandi, and co-create the new, from ascended pure intentional consciousness, which creates unity, harmony, fully embracing life and a more abundant life, which is already omnipresent, and not with grand announcements, but in silence. All true miracles and transformations manifest silently into form, because, by changing internally, we emit waves of light and change that ripple out to everyone and everything else. The creators, now is the time for this message, and for you we are here for you. We are the creators. We are a collective of non-physical 12th dimensional beings, and we are here to assist you. You are there, lightening your burden as often as possible. You who receive this message do so because you know you are on an ascension path and you know that having less weight on your shoulders helps during the climb. Many of you do this in a way that is painful, that hurts, and you think it has to hurt for a variety of different reasons. Believe us when we tell you it doesn't have to hurt. Of course, pain is part of your life experience on Earth and you will feel it from time to time. However, you always have the option to let go of what is heavy, what is dark, what does not serve you, before it becomes painful, and the process of letting it go has to be painful. In other words, many of you ignore all the subtler signs that tell you to let go, and you ignore them until you reach the painful moment, the one that makes your eyes open wide. The painful moment tells you that you need to change. Now, even then, many people continue to avoid doing what they need to do because there is some kind of escape route. It could be financial aid, or the care offered by the healthcare system for your problem. You save yourself by leaving the relationship that has become painful. There are many different kinds of escape routes, but you should really look in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I doing to create this kind of emotional and/or physical pain? You are doing something to create it. Maybe it's resistance. Maybe it's judgment. Maybe it's fear. Maybe you are simply not listening to the guidance you receive, the one that tells you to move in a direction that will ultimately be far more beneficial to you than the one you insist on moving in. You have to find out for yourself. You have to determine what the cause of your pain is and what the weight is that you carry within, so that you can release it, so that you can let it go. We are here to tell you that the extraction of pain does not have to be so painful, because you can pay more attention to those subtler signals. You can let go before the situation becomes so problematic that you have to face a physically and emotionally painful experience to rid yourself of what is dark, heavy, and no longer serves you. So you have the opportunity to look within and ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I absolutely need to let go of? You need to do this because you are on an ascension path and you need to let these things go. You will not take them with you, and surely you will want to get rid of them easily and, without pain before you create something that will inevitably become painful in your lives. Now is the time because you know, once again, that you are ascending and you know that everything on earth is changing. It is time to let go of the old, the worn out, and what no longer serves anyone, and it is you who must do it. It is you who must lead the way because you have the sensitivity to sense when something is wrong and to do something about it. This is our advice to you. We are the creators, and we love you very much.